What's good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy WordPlay T.
And this is the No Rhyme Podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason. Our next segment, you said it's a holiday yesterday.
Holiday.
And if anybody doesn't know, Lupe Fiasco, Joe's favorite, he just dropped his new album, Drill Music in Zion. Ultimately, it relates to, if you put drill music in Zion where the Matrix was set, you'll understand what he's dealing with, the turmoil, the dichotomy between the real world and the not so real world. And so there's a lot to unpack in this album. And then we'll get into breaking it down in our No Rhyme or review.
Biggest thing I learned is I'm always speaking about the duality or the nuance of things. I talk about this a lot of the times when I'm talking about people's feelings about religion or whatever the case may be. What exists in the text versus what exists in reality are two different things. There's the good and the bad in everything. And a lot of people don't really do that. They speak more so on the bad. One of the things that he articulated for me was...
Why you struggle to articulate?
It's poetry.
So ironic.
Is that I never realized the general fact that we make drill music, basically, throughout history, or what people would consider drill music in the way that he was explaining it. The way that they say that in rap, we celebrate shooting people, guns, and killing and doing all this other stuff. And there are a lot more songs throughout history that celebrate the killers and the murderers and their conquests. That's the human condition and has been the human condition for a very long time in terms of music.
I'm gonna fight you about this, Mike.
What does it?
Just back off of it.
It's okay.
Yeah, I know you like to hear your own voice. That's our negative bias, right? We pay attention to the things that are negative stimulus or different about our condition. Yeah, what I thought was great about this Hot 97 interview is that he managed to weave in a lot of the album's harder concepts into the interview, right? When he said that, like, we look at ourselves as human beings as, kind of like the chimpanzee, because we are like the chimpanzee in a very primitive way, but we also are a little more than the chimpanzee. What the hell?
Sorry, Mom, I can't answer the phone right now. I'm recording. To kind of finish that point, because the other part, the overall thing that I think he even was saying with that I enjoyed was, again, just recognizing the duality and the nuance of existing. And there's just blah, blah, blah. There's just good and bad things that come with everything. I quit on talking.
Yeah, good job. All right, first impressions of this album. Let's back up. I think we should do this in a different order.
Okay.
So I want you to play your favorite song. I will direct you to play my favorite song, and then we will kind of talk about what makes them our favorites. So about 30 seconds of your favorite.
First of all, I just like the title. Not just because I live close to that now, but
you're biased.
I like the way you play it off the Supersonics. I like when you don't say the name of the song in the song, but it's a play. It's the Seattle Supersonics, so that's why you would call it Seattle, because he affirms or uses supersonic.
Duh.
In the song, I like this feature. I like the feature of Naira, I think is her name. And I like just the feeling of it, of the keeping the promise to the streets and kind of talking about the earnesty in terms of what it was he was trying to do. Talks about so many intricate things, and it's kind of like the cool broken down in a way that isn't just preachy. It's more honest to me.
Everything comes back to the cool, doesn't it?
To me, at this point, that's his through line has always been this duality of
the thesis statement.
Yeah, this is his thesis. His thesis is always, y'all are hypocritical and you don't realize it.
I think my favorite song also talks about some hypocritical standards. It's Kiosk.
Hey, you looking
something to show you if you got the time to spare.
The funny part about this song is that I resonate towards it because it is a story that isn't so complex lyrically. And I don't have a problem with complex lyrics. Or some of our commenters may think I do. I just want the song to be able to speak for itself. It's kind of like when you overwrite a movie. You see what I'm saying? And there's too much dialogue. That's how I feel about wordier lyrics. Oh, okay. So he's talking about jewelry from the mall, and you're gonna go get this in order to kind of improve your status, but it comes with some consequences that you don't know that you're aware of. Why even put it on in the first place if it's gonna come with all of this?
And I remember going to the mall and getting because I never was able to get my ears pierced, so I went and got like the magnetic earring.
I remember those.
But that's because I wanted to, shine and be this thing. But I never wanted these overstated pieces of jewelry. I mean, I had a chain in mind because I thought that's what you had to do at the time. But once we got past that little era, so to speak, I'd rather have a style that kind of speaks. And I really like this song because it's a bit of a time capsule.
Kind of overall first impressions of this record. How did you feel about it in general? How did you feel about the production?
Soundtrack, I was overly impressed. No beat made me feel away. I didn't feel like there was any lackluster anything. Everything was coherent in terms of the way it sounded. I was also very impressed by his the use of one vocal in verses outside of like choruses and things. It was
not a lot of vocal stacks.
Yeah.
But how do you record a song in an album in 3 days and have plenty of stacks? You don't have time for that.
But it was still the production aspect of it made it even more masterful. And a lot of times I push against it because I'm still stuck in the watching the making the band and Diddy being like, your stacks, blah, 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 they do this. And I'm like, yeah. And it's like,
No.
you don't need that. Just
Well, I mean, after the mix engineer gets them right, your stacks are less present.
And your thoughts?
Overall, I believe that this album is pretty good. I wouldn't rank it as one of my favorite Lupe albums. I would say that it is probably a little bit below Mural.
You mean Tessa on You?
Yeah, Tessa on You. That's right. It's still not better than Food and Liquor. It has its own kind of place in the canon. And I don't think it really, it doesn't do a lot to kind of outshine any other project, but at the same time it has it's like a step kid, you know what I mean? Not in a bad way.
Just look at me.
It's just
look
an
at me
offshoot.
Proving the Lupe point.
It's adjacent, and it doesn't feel like it belongs in his list of work, even though it has all the elements of his body of work, except for maybe a hit record, right? Autobotto is not really that hit record. It's a bop, but it's not really a hit.
And I think he said in an interview he wasn't really going for it. Like, Autobotto is literally only on here in his words to kind of break up to give somebody
something to move to. What I think about the production overall is that,
soundtrack
track. I was about to say sound wave. Sound wave. Starscream.
Yep, you knew it. I don't know how you knew I wanted to do it, but you knew I wanted.
I'm glad you didn't. The way I feel about the production is that soundtrack has really shown a lot of range here.
Yeah.
And overall,
God damn it, this wire.
is more it's more jazzier than some of the other records. But I feel like Lupe is a jazz artist anyway.
You know what? I agree. I also like that he did like he did some kind of Illmatic productions in terms of, or Nas vibes. Nas-ish.
There's one
vibes.
record. Is it on Foe?
I think
now?
so.
That's a little bit more Nazi. Nazi. I gotta be careful with that.
Calm down.
Or is
Soul
it
Front.
Naomi?
It's Naomi. It's Naomi.
No, a little bit of it is there.
But it's Naomi that we're thinking about, though. Because it goes full just jazz and then Lupe. Yes, it's Naomi.
Yeah. We talked about everything. What's your arbitrary rating of this album?
Arbitrary rating for me, and I mean I'm a Lupe stan, so I can't say anything more than it's gonna be a 4 Starbucks out of 5.
I would also give it like 4 Teddy Grahams out of 5.
Oh, what kind though?
The honey ones. There is no other kind of Teddy Grahams, man. What are you talking about? There is cookies and cream. If you let the cookies and cream ones like get a little stale, that's how I like my honey, my Teddy Grahams.
Stale.
A little stale.
Are they not crunchy enough?
I like my graham crackers a little stale too.
I do too. I'm not gonna. But they get softer when they get stale.
But that's the same thing that happens to Teddy Grahams. Because they're graham crackers. I just blew your mind, man.
Explosion of the mind. But yeah.
That's going to be a tricky one to edit. But I'm doing it.
But it was fun, man. I had a lot of fun with this.
Cool.
I really did. And it's a short album. I think that's the best part.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I like short albums.
I do have
not
one more
necessarily
question.
2 short albums, but
I do have one question about the album. Were the singing features?
I'm not going to answer your question.
Oh, okay.
All right, cool. So go ahead and go and pick up Lupe's new album, Drill Music in Zion, out everywhere. It's also available on vinyl for about $30, and we don't get a cut of that. So enjoy. A 1 and a 2 and
Peace. You took my thing.
I did take your thing.